What's up, everybody? So, question is, are you prepared? Dad's taking leadership positions in their family. Have you sat down with your family, figured out exactly what you would do if we end up back where we were a year ago with peaceful protesting, if you will? Have you talked with your family about current events? Have you discussed topics that, most people are talking about today? Shit hits the fan, collapse, whatever you want to call it. Try to stay away from the buzzwords just so I don't get dinged on YouTube, but you got to think, what if something does happen? Everybody, there are a lot of videos out here that are talking about, if this happens, if that happens, what are you going to do? And that's good. I think that's human. That's normal. I mean, we've been dealing with different stuff our entire lives, doesn't matter how old you are. There's been some kind of geopolitical movement. There's been some type of, domestic issues. There's been peaceful protests. And, what does that look like for your family? Where do you live? Where are you located? Do you have supplies? Do you have means of exit? Do you have, a plan in place? It generally lands in the dad's lap, in the father's lap, in the leadership role. And, what are you doing every day to get one step closer to that perfect scenario? Obviously, you don't want to be stuck in the single plan outlet of, if something happens, this is what we're going to do. I mean, that's great to have, but at the end of the day, when that plan doesn't exactly work out, can you think on your feet? Can you pivot? Can you lean on friends or family or neighbors, or maybe somebody in a different location that's maybe a little bit more secure or safe? These are all definitely things to take into consideration when something bad happens. You need to be able to make sure that you can protect your family and do the right thing by them. And, a lot of that comes back to a couple other videos I've made about taking a leadership role. Definitely making sure that you have your wits about you. You don't buckle under pressure. You can keep a level head during uncertain times. I think it's really important, so at the end of the day, are you prepared? Do you have medical? Do you have safety, force, use of force figured out? Do you have supplies? Can you, if you were to have to, get out to the woods or whatever, get away from civilization, would you be able to survive without common, general, everyday amenities? It's definitely something that I've been starting to take serious consideration on, and starting to do certain things, take certain moves, talk to friends and family and neighbors. And it starts in your community. If you believe that your community is strong and the people that you live around have your back and have your best interests, and you're creating that mindset within your group that everybody's got their role to play, everybody's going to play their part, everybody knows what they're doing, then good for you. That's awesome. If you do not, I suggest that you really start taking it seriously. Everybody likes to play the world-ending scenario. I don't think that it's going to go that way that quick. I think it's going to get there, and it'll get there slowly. But, you can't be relying on everybody else to take care of your family. That's the man's job, so definitely things to think about. I just want to keep this video pretty short. Make sure you you're looking around for information. If there are things that you don't know, seek that information out. It's the dad's responsibility to take care of their kids, take care of their significant other, and make sure that they have a level head about it. So, don't assume that everything's going to be nice and comfortable, because it probably won't be for very long. And also enjoy it while it is for now. So take a minute every evening, develop a plan, develop a second plan or a third plan. Plan for road closures, plan for your escape route being blocked or heavily trafficked. You don't want to get stuck in a traffic jam. I don't live in an area necessarily that would be super congested, but I do have some tricks and some things that I'll have to probably mitigate or get around. So we plan for those, and make sure that you have an immediate plan of action if something does happen. If you work 15-20 minutes away, make sure that you have the means of being able to get back home, get your family back home, get everybody together, bug out bags, whatever you want to call it. Make sure that you have supplies that you can just readily grab and go if you need to. I think just being able to leave things behind is something that you're gonna have to wrestle with in your mind. I know it's gonna be hard for me, just to pretty much walk away from my home, but at the end of the day, family comes first, and you need to be able to make sure that you can survive whatever's going on. I know my plan is to find a more permanent residence outside of the suburbs or city or whatever. So I'm working on that now. And if you're not, I suggest maybe you take that into consideration. Figuring out your survival skills and brushing up on things you already know, maybe things you haven't had to deal with in a long time because life's been pretty easy or comfortable or whatever you want to call it. So definitely get prepared, definitely be ready. It's kind of an important thing, especially if you do have kids or young kids. Make sure you're stocked up on the things you need. All right, see you later.